Post TPR permanency review being conducted over Zoom with this child was placed out of state and is currently undergoing, there's an adoption proceeding in South Carolina that the department has been kept apprised of. But we have with us the child's attorney guardian ad litem in the underlying case, the TPR case here, Ms. Schrock, and then counsel for defects, Mr. Skowronek. So go ahead and give us your report, Mr. Skowronek.
So as I indicated, and just as a sort of an aside, I noticed that you've got the YouTube thing working over there now.
Yes. Were you the one that we had to waive the because we couldn't get it working? Robin couldn't get it working, and we called Gabe, the probation officer, who has some IT experience and has been invaluable during COVID, helping coordinate all this stuff. We haven't had to use him lately and forgot about him for a minute. And what did he take, about 15 minutes? Took about 15 minutes and he got it figured out what was going on. And so we're back on Zoom. I'm back on YouTube and Zoom. So,
all right. Well, as I indicated before we went on the record, Your Honor, we were last in court on this case in December of 2023. The child remains placed with the Beardens in South Carolina. They have filed a petition to have the child adopted in South Carolina. I had been in touch with their adoption attorney. He had requested a Scrivener's error order, which the court had previously entered. I want to say it was either the beginning of March or the end of February, to correct the child's information on that. And then he also wanted a copy of the putative father registry report. I sent those to him on March 8th, and for whatever reason, the U.S. Postal Service didn't get them there. I sent them to him again. He has now received them. He did go ahead and file the petition pending the receipt of those documents, so that is pending, and it is currently scheduled for a finalization date on May 31st of this year. And hopefully by the time the end of the month rolls around, we will get notice from the Beardens that the adoption has been finalized and we can close this case.
All right. Ms. Schrock, you have any questions, comments?
No, sir. No, sir. I've been in touch with the adoptive family, and I know that they're excited about finalizing the adoption and that the child's doing well in their care.
Okay. All right. I'll accept the report. Find the child remains dependent, reasonable efforts to achieve permanency, and we will set it back out 90 days for hopes we'll hear from the adoption. And you can always cancel it once you send me proof that the adoption is done. Before that hearing date.
I'll just reach out to Danielle. She's out of town right now, but Ms. Banks should be able to let me know when they get that.
Okay.
But what's the review date, just for me to put that in the order?
Robin's playing at Jessica this morning. Jessica said she couldn't take any more of your abuse today.
Yeah. Yes.
Good thing she didn't have a law enforcement panic button in her office. She said you were so abusive. Was it Friday or Thursday? She said you were so bad that she would have hit the panic button.
Yeah. I will
listen. You need to be careful. These people do a lot for us, and then you run roughshod over them and abuse them, and it comes back on all of us. I don't think I'd want that hornet's nest stirred up.
I am just a fountain of happiness and light.
You know, when we get through with all this technology, I don't know what the bench in my courtroom is going to look like, but right now I can't see Robin because I've got all these monitors and boxes in front of me. So I can't see her reaction, but I would imagine her eyes roll back into her head.
Probably. Yeah.
But I miss that interaction.
Well, I think that this new monitor that they've got in this courtroom, Alyssa, you tell me if you agree. First of all, I can see you a lot.
And the parties present.
Your Honor, I was told by my son, Christian, that he was not allowed to attend. That's what he told me on our video chat.
That's not true. He's allowed to attend, but he has to make arrangements to be produced here in court. They used to put them on Zoom for us at the jail, but the clerk notified them that he was needed in court today. They didn't bring him, and on Zoom for us at the jail, but the clerk notified them that he was needed in court today. They didn't bring him, and does he want to be here?
He said he did, but I don't know who exactly told him he could not attend, but that's what he was told.
Well, apparently they've gone back. They've been switching back and forth between allowing them to appear by Zoom from the jail or not. So apparently it is now not. So we will need to reschedule the hearing, and I'll have to sign an order to have the sheriff produce him at the next hearing. That worked for everybody? Mom just
Okay.
her papers last week. The sheriff said she wasn't there at the house that we gave them. And I don't know whether she has her papers, but I assume she's here. There's somebody on here without, I can't tell from their name on the screen.
Yes, yeah.
Somebody said yes. Who was
Yes.
that?
Mom, yes, right here.
You, Miss Ivy?
Yes, sir.
What's your address?
1 4.
All right. Well, when the sheriff went to that residence, they were told that that name was unknown.
Yes, sir.
The door.
That was a mistake. I talked to the court 2 days ago about it. The court clerk.
Okay.
And she gave me the Zoom link and everything through email so I could be here.
Okay, we're glad you're here, but why would whoever else lives in the house tell them you weren't known?
I have no idea. And I was trying to figure out who it was, but I don't have
Well, how many people live in the house besides you?
nobody. Actually, I was in Florida working at the time on the 13th.
Is this a house, an apartment, or what is it?
It's a house.
It's a what?
It's a house.
Do you have next door neighbors who don't know your name and would have said they didn't know who it was?
Maybe. I'm not sure who exactly said it. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody at the house, and
Okay. Well, I'm assuming that she told you about, she sent you the link and told you about court, and you're here, which is good. But you have not seen the petition.
no, I have not.
Okay. Are you objecting to the request for temporary custody filed by I guess it's the father's parents?
No.
Are you married to Christian Bivens?
No, sir.
I don't. This child is a newborn, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
3 months. So you can't sign administrative legitimation papers anymore. Anyway, the child is illegitimate in Georgia. That means he is the putative father. He has no claim for custody or visitation or anything until he legitimates the child. We give putative fathers notice. We're not required to, but we do. So if I continue the case, I will give you time. Are you able to hire you an attorney? You need
Yes.
attorneys. You can hire one yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will. It will. If I give you 2 weeks, will that be enough time to hire your lawyer?
Yes.
Why is Mr. Bivens in jail?
It's for death by receiving stolen property and fleeing and eluding.
Okay. Does he have a bond and he's not able to make it, or did they deny him bond because he was on probation or parole, or what's this picture?
He got a bond, but he has not been bonded out. He did get a bond hearing. I think it's 50,000, but no, we haven't bonded him out.
Okay. What is he accused of stealing and by receiving?
I'm thinking it's a vehicle.
Okay. Well, a lot of times the bond has some relation to the value of whatever was stolen or torn up or whatever. That's why I asked.
And he was, it said eluding the police, assault on a peace officer, but I don't know if that's still on there.
Ms. Ivy, were you living with Mr. Bivens at the time of,
Yes, sir.
are y'all still in a relationship?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
You said you were working in Florida. Do you live here?
Yes, sir.
Are you a nurse?
Am I what? Excuse me? Am I a nurse? No. I was painting a house.
And you have to go to Florida to find house painting jobs?
No, it was just a one-time thing, a one-time house painting job.
I believe my initial order put temporary custody with the petitioners until we got to court, so that will stay in place. I'm assuming since he's in jail, he's not complaining about the arrangement.
No.
Ms. Cunningham, is your son complaining?
No, sir.
What is it that he wanted to be here for?
He thought that
they
he
want to
was
be here if they want to complain.
Oh, he thought that he was supposed to be present because he received the same petition.
Yeah.
So he thought that might explain why they told him he didn't need to be present. Maybe that explains it.
We don't go out and arrest people who don't come to court for a civil proceeding, but we go forward if they've been served and we rule and we don't hear their side of the story. They're not penalized for other than they might be indirectly penalized by the case not going the way they wanted because they weren't there to tell their side if they have a different side. It's not uncommon people to get served with papers in jail. I generally take the position that they have some responsibility to at least write us or tell us that they want to be here. And we make an effort to get them here.
Okay.
So we can do that. Does 2 weeks from now work for Mr. and Ms. Cunningham? Mom says that works for her. And Mr.
Yes.
Assuming Mr. Bivens doesn't get out of jail in the last 2 weeks, and then we don't know where he is, but we will send him notice of the change.
Okay.
And everything's okay with the baby?
Yes. There's the
Jessica,
little one.
give me a date, as close to 2 weeks from today as you can find. I don't necessarily want it at 4 in the afternoon, but,
I know that in 2 weeks is Memorial Day, so anytime after that, by the end of the month would be fine.
well, they locked the doors on Memorial Day. We can't get in the building, so you're safe for that day.
All right. We are open anytime after, at the end of the month, anytime.
How about the 28th of May, which is a day or two after Memorial Day,
That's fine.
at 2:00. And we'll do it, unless y'all want to come up here in person, we'll do it on Zoom again. We do some of them online. This is a leftover from COVID when every case was done on Zoom. But, a lot of the folks, especially sometimes in these type of cases, people are spread out and transportation becomes an issue for some. So
Yeah,
most of the people that voice an opinion
Zoom.
want to stay on Zoom. They don't want to come to the courthouse and go
Yes.
through security and do all that. But I'll
We're
do whatever
fine.
you want to do because I have to be here regardless.
We're fine to keep it on Zoom.
All right. That worked for you, Ms. Ivy?
Yes, sir.
All right. It's important that you have an attorney, Mr. and Ms. Cunningham. I would encourage you to look into getting a lawyer for yourself. Right now, what I'm hearing is it's not going to be a contested issue, but these things sometimes get contested, very hotly contested. And I'm assuming none of you are lawyers and you don't know how to present your case. And I can't present it for you because I can't give legal advice and I can't help people present their case or defend their case. But Ms. Ivy, you're entitled to counsel as a parent of a child subject to one of these cases. You said you can afford to hire one, so I want you to go do that. If you run into financial or other roadblocks that doesn't seem to work out, you can come to the clerk's office where you spoke to the lady that Friday, come in person and fill out a financial affidavit. You have to swear to the contents of it. You have to fill it out completely. When I get applications that leave half the blanks blank, I don't rule on them because I don't know whether they're eligible. But I have financial guidelines I have to apply as to whether you're eligible for me to appoint a lawyer for you at county expense. If you're able to hire your own, that's great. Go do it. But don't put it to the last minute because you're going to have 2 weeks to do it. So, and be sure, since we're on short time, that you hire somebody who can actually be here with you in 2 weeks. Hiring somebody and then they say, well, I'm tied up until the middle of June, doesn't work for you. So you need to move on to somebody who knows what they're doing and has got experience in this field and can be in court with you on the day you have to be back in court. Okay? Because I'm not going to be a happy camper if you hire somebody and then they immediately write me and say, I can't be here. I'm going to be madder at him or her than at you because they know they shouldn't accept employment in a case that they know at the get-go they can't be here for. Okay? And sometimes they work things out to make arrangements for a continuance, but these cases are supposed to move quickly and keep putting it off is not good. Okay?
Yes,
So,
sir.
it's not as crucial in this case since it is not contested right now, but I've had cases contest on the drop of a dime, and I'm glad everybody's getting along and are on the same page. You need to probably, even if you don't need the financial affidavit, you probably need to come by. The clerk can mail you a copy of the petition and the order that I've already signed. I'm sorry. She emailed it to you already, so you should have it. You said email, didn't you? Okay. And we will, did the defects report get mailed out? I can't tell from the file.
I think so. Yes.
Ms. Cunningham, you got a copy of the defects report?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Ivy, did you say you had one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, we will sign an order to have him. Well, this is the problem. Now that I think about it, if they won't put him on Zoom, which is I'm assuming that's what's happening, and I can't make them put him on Zoom, but I can make them bring him over here. But if I make them bring him over here, all of y'all need to come see me here, because we are in the midst of having extensive technology advancements installed into each of our courtrooms. I'm not even in my courtroom today because they're working on my courtroom. They will not be through next week, I've been told. I don't know when they're going to be through, but until they are through, I have no means of holding a hybrid hearing where he's with us live and everybody else is on Zoom. We will have that capability when they finish the work, because what will happen is he will be able to see all of y'all on a giant TV screen up in the front of the courtroom, and y'all will be able to see him on Zoom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we can all be together, so to speak. But I can't do that until they finish this work. And I don't really know when they're going to finish. We were low man on the totem pole. They've gotten to everybody else first, and we're last, which that's neither here nor there, other than they've not given us a timeline of when they were going to start. They just showed up one day and started, and then we don't know when they're going to finish. So I'm going to leave it like it is, and we're going to produce him here in hopes for a hybrid hearing. If we get, a day, well, the day before will be Memorial Day. So if that Friday before we realize that they're not going to be through because they're not going to be working on Monday, then we will call you and probably tell you we'll need to reschedule it. There's no chance, I guess, this being your son, the most likely person to go on his bond is y'all, and you've chosen not to do that, which is your business. There's nobody else in the community that can go on that kind of bond. Probably that's 50,000 is pretty steep, cash or property for that matter, either way.
Correct. Yeah.
So he's going to be there a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, do you understand what I'm talking about? The possible complication?
Yes, sir.
I would like to be able to excuse the defects people from coming back because they filed a report. If nobody's objecting to the report, but he's not here, they probably they couldn't drug screen him in jail, so I don't know what they could report to me and they couldn't get his criminal history because they couldn't get his fingerprint. So you didn't tell me anything about him, did you, in your report, Ms. Fincher?
Yeah, we were able to drug screen him with the court order, Your Honor, and I don't.
Oh, you did? Okay, good.
Yes, I don't have a criminal history. I just have the police report for his current charges.
Okay. Well, at least coming back by Zoom won't be as burdensome to you, but all right.
Your Honor, may I say something?
I don't know. Depends on what it is.
I wasn't sure if I could petition the courts for a DNA testing on Christian and the baby.
That's a good question. I don't know whether you have standing because you're not either the mother or the father. They have standing to ask for that. And
since Kristen is here and available, do you agree on the?
All we need is the father. All we need is the father and the child. We don't need the mother to participate in the testing, and she doesn't have to consent to it. I don't know why she would object to it.
Well, because he's incarcerated, I don't know how to get that process done.
Well, DFACS can help us do that if that's something that we need to do. I would rather wait. Is that something that your son has expressed an interest in doing?
Well, I did a paternity lab test with grandmother and grandson, and it came back inconclusive. It wouldn't be admissible in court. And well, that was where my concern was, and they suggested a father-son testing.
Yeah. There's several $100 I think we've got time to look into that. And,
I don't know about the name.
I'm sorry?
No, that's not, it doesn't, because it's already established that this child is illegitimate. Okay,
He's illegitimate as to him doesn't mean he's not biologically the father. It just means he's not born during a marriage. He's not conceived or born during a marriage. That's what illegitimate means.
okay.
So he's not been, your son is considered the putative father. He's been named the father by the mother at some place on the birth certificate or otherwise. Being on the birth certificate does not make him the legal father. We're the only state in the country that has this distinction. So
We don't have the birth certificate, so we don't know if Christian is listed on the birth certificate, but I do know that the social security card doesn't show Christian's last name.
Okay.
It shows her current husband's last name.
No, it shows Ivy.
That's my last name.
Yeah, her name. Yes.
Most common illegitimate children generally get the last name of the mother, unless the mother picks a different name. But anyway, we will address that. If I forget about it, you remind me when we come back on the 18th, on the 28th, I'm sorry.
28th. Okay.
Right. Don't forget, Ms. Ivy, get your lawyer, and the clerk says she's already sent you the paperwork, so you should have that. And we will treat you as having acknowledged service. I'm not going to send the sheriff out to find you again. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. So I expect you to be here with bells on when we come back on the 28th.
Yes, sir.
Don't haul off to Florida doing some more painting. Do some local painting until we get through with this.
Okay. That's at 2:00, right, Your Honor?
2:00, yes.
Okay.
And the clerk will, if she have email addresses for y'all, she'll email you the link for Zoom. The other, if we have not gotten our technology up to snuff to do the hybrid hearing, we may be calling you on Friday asking you to convert this to a live hearing so everybody comes and is here live in front of me. Then we can have the hearing and he be produced over from the jail. Okay?
Okay.
All right. But we'll try not to do that because it'll be less inconvenient for you to have to come. But if you do, if you have a sitter, you don't need to bring the infant with you to the hearing. If you can, but as long as you make sure he's muzzled and not yelling and screaming during the hearing. But,
Okay.
We like the kids here if we can talk to them and look at them, but with infant babies, I'm okay. All right. Y'all take care.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Continuance to y'all. Y'all take care. A dependency case filed by Eileen and David Cunningham.
Yes.
Is Mr. Cunningham there with you, Miss Cunningham?
Yes. One moment. Yes, we filed the petition, right?
Yep.
Yes.
We continued the case for one to attempt to produce the father, Christian Bivens, from the county jail. And we sent a notice for that to take place. Is he still in the county jail?
Yes.
All right. They haven't produced him. We don't have any deputies here with us because we don't have them here when we're on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess
He told me that he was in agreement with the arrangement for temporary custody, but he wanted to be here, and we try. I don't know. They're supposed to honor that notice. Now, at one time they had quit making inmates available by Zoom, and they were bringing them in person. But
okay.
I have not seen a deputy today. We had a hearing at 1:00, and it was also on Zoom, so we wouldn't have deputies in here then. The clerk is going to call downstairs and find out if anybody knows. Sometimes they bring them over and house them in the. They have jail cells down in the bottom floor of the courthouse, for people that are brought over until they're needed in court. We'll see, but it doesn't look
Okay.
promising. And we also continued the case because Mom wanted to hire a lawyer, although she was in agreement, but she's not here. At least I don't see her.
Okay.
Is Christian Ivy here? Kristen Ivy? She had been in jail at the beginning of the case, but must have bonded out because she was here in person, according to my notes. Do y'all know where she is?
I don't know.
No, we haven't heard from her.
She doesn't come see the child?
Just twice since we've had them, and last time it's been maybe 4 weeks. She'll text us and check on them by text, but other than that, no. She's
We were
seen
here
them
May the
twice.
13th, so we were here 2 weeks ago. And so the last 2 weeks, she has not seen the child?
No,
Is there friction or hard feelings where she would not want to check in with you and come by your house?
I don't, not that I know of. I know she doesn't have transportation. She relies on her aunt to pick her up, but no, there's no friction between us at all.
All right. Well, let's see who the rest of these folks are. I have somebody identified as Zoom user. Are you with CASA?
Are you talking to us?
Yes,
No,
Your
I'm talking
Honor,
to
she
somebody
is.
who's identified by, if you would, there's a way you go in when you get on Zoom to put your name so we'll know, so I don't have to bug you asking who you are.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. We'll fix that.
That's okay. I see several other CASAs and they're monitoring court as part of their training, and that's fine. These hearings are open to the public, and that's why, if you noticed at the beginning, there was a notice that this case is on YouTube. That's how we satisfy the open to the public requirement, as we broadcast Zoom hearings on YouTube so anybody can watch.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't
That
know
started
that.
because the courthouse was limited access during COVID. They were still public hearings. Now, some of the hearings we have are not open to the public, but all dependency cases are open to the public. But if you were a party to the case, you need to be here on the Zoom call or in person, because you can't communicate with us from YouTube. All you can do is watch and listen.
Right, right.
Yeah.
There've been a couple of people that I've specifically told, go watch it on YouTube, because they kept trying to butt in the hearing and they weren't entitled to butt in. So haven't had that happen lately. All right, let's see. In addition to the number of CASA people, Ms. Fincher is with the DFACS. Ms. Schrock is the appointed attorney and guardian ad litem for the child. Mr. Skowronek is the attorney for DFACS. And Ms. White is the supervisor with DFACS. And so Ms. White and Ms. Fincher are the case workers, case supervisors. Did I leave somebody out? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Roberts?
Yes, Your Honor, I am the current FPS case manager for the case.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And what does FTS stand for? Family Team Support?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that's FPS, Family Preservation.
Oh, Family Preservation, okay.
Yes.
Good. You must be relatively new.
A year in, Your Honor.
You've been here a year?
That's correct.
And you haven't got on any of my lists yet. That's pretty good. Mr. Skowronek is on all of our lists, so. All right. Well, we don't have any parents. Did you find out anything?
Jessica is checking. She's the one that could actually send the link to the sheriff's office. So he is trying to see if she can reach somebody.
One of our deputy clerks downstairs is trying to make contact with somebody at the jail who would know what we're talking about.
Okay.
So,
Your Honor, we did talk about a paternity test for Christian. We would like to get that done. I did speak to Christian a while back, and he is in agreement. I did do a mail-in grandparent test with Skylar, and it came back inconclusive. And I also did check with Christian's father. We did the swab at that point as well, and it also came back inconclusive. And the paternity test company requested that we do father and child.
That's the only one that's admissible. Those others, you couldn't even produce in court.
Right. But
And it's got to be done by a lab, not a kit out of the drugstores.
right.
Ms. Fincher, have y'all got the ability to do that?
I just wanted to say, Your Honor, that the mother, she's trying to get on now.
Well, she must be getting on someone else's Zoom. She hasn't been in my waiting room.
I
But
believe Ms. Roberts is.
we'll talk real slow so she gets here. Does she have her lawyer with her? That's why we continued it, so she could hire a lawyer.
I'm not sure about that, Your Honor. I just know she's trying to get on now.
She does not, Your Honor.
Well,
And Judge Warren is working on why he hasn't made to appear.
okay. We've got one of our court service deputies who works with the courts is checking on why he hasn't gotten on Zoom, or why they haven't told us they weren't going to put him on Zoom or couldn't put him on Zoom. I know we've been undergoing for the last 2 months revamping of all of our technological equipment that facilitate videos and enhances the Zoom and stuff. And I had heard that the jail was going to have some changes done to theirs. I don't know, maybe they're in the middle of theirs. Nobody's told us that. There's a reason why they couldn't produce anybody for Zoom. But just total yes on that point. Deputy Warren tells Robin, who tells me that they're getting him on the phone, on the Zoom call.
Okay.
Hold your breath. Ms. White or Ms. Fincher, either one of you answered that you would arrange for the paternity test between the child and the dad?
Yes, sir, we can. However, we do have a court order when they do it in the jail.
Okay. Yeah, I know they don't like having company. Will they let the provider in if we have a court order?
Yes, sir, they will.
Mr. Skowronek. See, your attendance was very valuable. You have a lot of expertise on how to prepare such an order. So will you do that for us, please? The father is Christian Bivens in the Henry County Jail, and we need his participation in providing the saliva sample along with the child, and the Cunninghams will have to make the child available for the saliva sample from him. Is Skylar a boy?
Yes.
Okay. They don't stick needles anymore and draw blood. They just take a long Q-tip and scribe across the back of the mouth. And
Okay.
it's over about the time she starts screaming, he starts screaming, it'll be over. How long does it usually take to get the results back, Ms. White? 2 or 3 weeks, longer?
Couple of weeks, Your Honor.
Okay, we get them fairly routinely. I've just never paid any attention to how long it actually took from start to finish.
Yes, sir.
It'll probably go through Ms. Roberts. She's got an open FPS case that she indicated on this case, Your Honor. Ms. White and Ms. Fincher are just here as part of doing the private dependency case. I'll get with Ms. Roberts about that, and we'll have to get an order from the court probably. I'm not so sure about Henry County being how cooperative they've been. I haven't had one done over there. Generally, the Department of Corrections has been pretty amenable, but I'm not sure about Henry County. It's just been quite a while since I've had them try to go over there to do one.
I know we've had trouble getting like counseling providers and people testing parents who are in our mental health court. that we've had some issues with getting providers in. We don't generally have to drug screen them for that. We have to, paternity testing. We do drug screen, but they don't generally let us do them in the jail. We'd like to assume that because they're in jail, they couldn't get access to it, but I have a feeling that's not always the case. Not necessarily Henry County, but I've heard of people getting access to controlled substances while incarcerated. Here is the mother, or at least somebody posing as her. I don't know. I hope your audio is better than your video, Ms. Ivy. You're 30 minutes late. Where have you been? If anybody has contact with her, tell her she's not. I'm putting her in the waiting room because she doesn't have any connection, barely video, barely, and audio, nothing, according to our information on the screen. So I'm bringing her back for another try. Well, Mom is in limbo. She's been joining for several minutes now and without success.
Your Honor, she's trying again.
She's what?
She's trying again.
Well, that's what I hit join. I put her out and brought her back in to hopefully improve her connection, but now it just won't let her in. I've tried to let the mom in. I've just let the jail in now.
Can you hear me now?
Is Ivy?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Sweet. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Are you Christian Bivens?
Do what? Excuse me?
Talking to your.
Oh, got it.
Bivens. He just showed up when you showed up.
Okay.
Are you Mr. Bivens? Third time. Are you Mr. Bivens?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. This is the adjudicatory hearing on a private dependency petition and needs to be temporarily placed in the custody of Eileen and David Cunningham, the child's paternal grandparents. We're conducting the hearing virtually using Zoom. We finally have everybody here, I think. Parents are the last two to show. Mr. Bivens is the putative father, and he's in the Henry County Jail. The mother, Kristen Ivy, is appeared on the 13th. I think that's the last hearing, and asked for the case to be postponed for her to get a lawyer, which I don't see a lawyer, so you didn't get one, correct, Ms. Ivy?
No, sir.
So you ready to proceed without one?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Bivens, your parents asked on your behalf to postpone the case so you could be here, and we got you here finally. It took some pulling and pushing, but you're here, and your parents had asked on your behalf, since you were late, to have paternity tests with you and the child to confirm that you are the biological father. Is that what you want done?
Yes, sir.
All right. You got any objections to that, Ms. Ivy?
No, sir.
All right. Well, DFACS is going to arrange for that, and I'm going to sign an order getting them to facilitate with a provider that the necessary saliva swabs are taken for lab analysis and a written report as to whether or not they cannot prove 100% that he is the father. They can prove 100% that he's not the father, but usually the highest percentage is 99.99 or somewhere between 99.96 and 99.99 when they're confirming paternity. So it takes the time they arrange for the jail to let them have access to you in the jail. It'd probably take us between taking the samples and getting the results back probably about a month. It'd be my guess, talking to the lawyer and the caseworkers from DFACS earlier.
Okay.
Is there any chance you're going to be out of jail in the near future, Mr. Bivens?
Not likely, no, sir. Not likely, no, sir.
What are your charges pending now?
1 count aggravated assault on a peace officer, 1 count theft by taking, 2 counts residential burglary.
Two residential burglaries?
Yes, sir.
And an ag assault on peace officer And what
Yes,
was,
sir.
what was the other one? Criminal damage?
Theft by taking
Theft by taking of what?
a vehicle
Okay.
and fleeing and eluding.
Do you have a bond set on all this stuff?
Yes, sir. Total amount on the bond is $75,000.
You're not gonna be able to make it?
Not at this time, no, sir.
Are you on probation or parole before all that happened?
No, sir.
Is this your first involvement with the criminal justice system as a defendant?
No, sir.
And that usually enters into the decision about bond and how much bond and all that stuff, as you probably already know.
Yes, sir.
Well, your parents told me when we were at the hearing on the 13th that you were consenting to them having temporary custody of Skylar. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Of course, if you turn out not to be the biological father, then you have no say in it. You don't have too much say as a putative father. In Georgia, you can't seek custody or visitation with a child that you are not the legal father of. You can't be the legal father unless you're married to the mother at the time of birth and conception, or whether you file with either the Superior Court or Juvenile Court a petition to legitimate the relationship between you and the child, and that's granted at some point. So, Ivy, when we were here on the 13th, even though you told me you wanted to get you a lawyer, you said you were agreeing to let the child stay temporarily with the Cunninghams. Is that still your choice?
Yes, sir.
Now, I asked them before you took quite a while to get here, get online with us, and I asked them about your contact with the child, and they said you haven't seen the child since we were here 2 weeks ago. So I think I usually tell people it's very important. If they can't do anything else, they can at least see their child. Now, they did tell me in your defense that you have transportation issues and have trouble getting around. Is that true?
Yes, sir. I just got me a car. It was maybe a week ago. It's having a little bit of issues like driving, but I'm working on that.
Okay.
And I just got insurance on it like a couple of days ago.
Does Ms. Roberts have some plans with you on things that you need to work on so that you can resume parenting your child yourself?
Yes, sir. I'm doing the parenting classes with the Loving Hands of Hope, and we are looking into a rehab for me to go to.
What's your drug of choice? Or drugs of choice?
Methamphetamines.
Well, you picked a bad one.
Yes, sir.
As you're finding out. And it's very hard to get away from it, and it's very hard to stay away from it. I had a mother years ago whose children I had to take into state custody 3 different times because she gets strung out on meth, get clean, do everything she needed to do on her case plan, got her kids back, not once, not twice, but 3 times. That's not good. One time is not good because even a child as young as yours, they quickly internalize the disruption of their life as somehow they've done something wrong. And it upsets the apple cart for them. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for you either, but it definitely is not healthy for a child who's in his formative years. So we need to make this removal temporary and the only removal. And you're going to have to get away from and stay away from meth. Okay? And
yes, sir.
Do you know what that includes besides staying away from the drug? What else it includes staying away from?
The people around.
Probably most of the people you've been used to hanging around.
Yes.
If they're not using along with you, they're not a positive influence in your life, or at least not positive enough to keep you from using. I'm not blaming your use on third parties, but
no.
I can tell you, it doesn't make it any easier to quit when you're hanging with the same people that you used to use with. because they have no scruples in terms of, in fact, I think some of them take it as a challenge to get you to relapse. Not that they want bad things to happen, but they want to prove to you that they're stronger than you are, and their will to get you back in the groove, so to speak, is stronger than your will to resist. Now, you may have friends that want the best for you. Hopefully, those are the people you need to gravitate toward and stay toward. And the ones that don't have your best interest, by staying encouraging and doing everything they can to make sure you're sober, you need to leave in the dust.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Roberts, have y'all identified any prospective rehab facilities?
Yes, Your Honor. The family, the paternal family, as well as the maternal family, have identified a rehab facility in Marietta called the Extension. The mother has indicated for over a month now that she wanted to attend. We just have to go ahead and make the decision to go.
Okay. Well, did you check it out with Cobb Defects to make sure it's got a good reputation? And, I worry about people getting word off the street to go here or there. And sometimes I find that all they've gone to is a sober living place where there's no treatment, and taking a lot of time out of your life to go do it. You want to do it the right way and to ensure the best chance of success. This one got a reputation for doing good work. Robert, I don't recognize the name, but that doesn't mean there's so many of them in Atlanta. I don't recognize a lot of them.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I haven't spoken directly with the facility myself. I do believe Kristen has indicated that she has other family members that have gone through the program at the Extension and, have seen good results.
Okay.
So.
All right. Somebody wanted to butt in. I don't know who it was.
Oh, yeah. I was also referred by a paralegal about the Extension for Christian as well as for Kristen, for both of them. If there is a separate female and male facility for both of them to attend.
Your son has the same issue with the meth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right, Mr. Bivens?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to stay away from it in jail?
Yes, sir. I am taking this time to sober up.
Amazing how clear your head can get, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You actually have a brain that thinks and reasons. How old are y'all?
I'm 27.
29.
Okay. And this is both of your first child?
No, I have a daughter.
How old is your daughter?
Oh, 8.
Where does she live?
She is with her father's parents.
Right. When's the last time she lived with you?
Since I had Skylar.
So for the last year and a half?
No, just since February.
I couldn't remember.
Just
I knew she was relatively newborn. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is accept both of you's stipulation that the child is dependent and put temporary custody with the paternal grandparents, the Cunninghams, require you to cooperate with the Family Preservation Services that Ms. Roberts is leading for DFACS. I'm going to charge the guardian ad litem, Ms. Schrock, with the responsibility of preparing a case plan that will set out the steps that both of you need to accomplish before you can return to full-time parenthood. Obviously, the first thing on your list, Mr. Bivens, is going to be to resolve your criminal issues, which you have only so much control over that because you're sitting with no bond waiting and the courts don't get in a big hurry. Okay. And you already know that. But I'm assuming now, I do occasionally have people who just do their own thing, and they're fine with grandparents or aunt and uncle looking after their kids, and they may not realize it at the time, but at some point they recognize they really don't want to be parents. They like the fact that another family member is stable, responsible, and they're doing the work for them, and they can go visit and play like brother and sister, aunt or uncle or whatever. And it's not a moral judgment. And if I have people that do that, sometimes they tell me otherwise, but then that's what they end up doing. And sometimes that works out well. But we give everybody an opportunity to reunify, and that's what that plan I'm talking about that each of you will have will be a reunification plan, the steps you need to make. And Ms. Schrock will be leaning heavily on the assessment that Ms. Roberts made and the issues that she's identified and is attempting to address with parenting classes and your admission to rehab and those things. So those will be part of your case plan and probably part of Dad's, other than just you've got to do more than just get out of jail. You understand that, Mr. Bivens?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what Ms. Schrock will take a month or so to prepare that, and we'll come back. She will have sent those to you to look at. If you want lawyers to represent you in this case, you can fill out a financial affidavit and see if you're eligible. You don't have to have a lawyer, but right now you're in agreement, so I don't know, but you may come up upon things. Obviously, if your paternity tests come back that you're not the father, that's the end of the case for you, Mr. Bivens.
Yes,
So
sir.
you won't be joining us anymore, and that may or may not spell the end of the placement of the children with your parents if they're no longer the paternal grandparents. We may have to be looking elsewhere, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Either of you have any questions?
No, sir.
No.
Listen, you may not be able to do anything but visit. Mom, the new car you got may go kaplunky in 2 days, and you're back with no transportation. You can get on Zoom if you can't do anything else. That's not ideal, especially with an infant. You need to be touching the child, hugging the child. That child needs to be getting to know you, and you need to be getting to know him. Okay? So I want you to figure out some way you can see your child every week. When I have kids in foster care for newborns, they generally have to visit 3 times a week. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm not saying I'm not going to throw stuff at you if you don't visit 3 times a week, but I will if you don't visit at least once a week.
Yes, sir.
Dad, you're stuck. I'm not sure they're letting kids come into the jail, period, much less infant children. So you're probably going to be limited to doing something online like we're doing today. But another condition of this order, and I'm not picking on y'all because I haven't heard anything to indicate I need this, but I do it in every case because even when it doesn't appear initially that we need it, oftentimes it comes in handy. I don't want anybody saying anything derogatorily about the other parents, grandparents. 2 are in the presence of the child. No, the child doesn't have a full grasp of the English language right now, but you'd be amazed what kids pick up from the tone of people's voices, and how they speak and communicate. So, and I don't want you to be ugly to each other. There's no need for it. There's no use for it. And I have 2 rules that go with part and part of this. And if everybody followed these 2 rules, I probably wouldn't have a job. But if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. And treat people like you want to be treated.
Yes, Your Honor.
That goes from grandparents to parents, parents to grandparents, grandparents to child, parents to child, every which combination you can think of.
Yes, Your Honor.
Cooperate with Ms. Roberts and do whatever she needs you to do. If she needs you to sign papers, and Mr. Bivens, I don't know if the mom has to sign anything about the paternity since she's not giving up a saliva sample, but if she does, she needs to sign. And Mr. Bivens, you need to sign stuff. And
yes,
but I can tell you that parenting classes, and we may not get you started with parenting classes because the jail may not let the parenting class teacher come to your jail. So you may have to hold off on some of this stuff until you get bonded out, until your case gets resolved in court.
Your Honor, before we
hesitating.
conclude,
Go ahead.
before we conclude, I just wanted to be sure and get the email address from Miss Ivy so that I would be able to share the proposed case plan with her.
Yes, I need.
Are you ready for it now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
At gmail.com.
Are y'all still together?
Excuse me?
Are
we-
y'all still together?
Yes.
I just noticed you're using his name, but my file shows your legal name is Ivy.
Yes, I'm still using his email.
Mr. Bivens, do you have an email account in the county jail?
No, sir.
You have to pay for it. I mean, I think they have it, but it's a cost.
I don't know the address, but I am able to receive emails, yes.
Okay, through the county, the county lets some company come in and run it, and they make the money.
Yeah, it's
They make a little bit
JLATM,
of it. Sir,
JLATM.com.
say it again, please.
It's JLATM.com.
Well, how does it get to you? That sounds like a generic account for everybody in the jail.
We have kiosks in the dorm. We have computers in the dorm that we're able to access our emails.
I know, but if it's addressed to that address, how come the guy in the cell next to
No,
you?
you have to set up an account.
Oh, okay. So you have an
use
account,
one.
but if the court wanted to send you the notice for the next court date, she just sends it to that.
It'll cost the court 50
JLATM.com.
cents.
I can't hear you. I mean, I hear you laughing, but I didn't hear what somebody else said.
Sorry, it'll cost the court 50 cents is what my mother was saying.
No, it's not. It's going to be charged to your account. You're going to pay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can choose for me to pay for it, I guess. Yes, you go to JLATM.com and you make an account and you register it to my name.
Oh, no, I'll tell you what we're going to do. This is even better. We're going to send it to your parents and then they can forward it to you. How's that, Grandma?
That'll work. That'll work.
Yes,
You've
Your
already
Honor, that's
got
fine.
the account set up. It's no need to duplicate that hard effort.
Yes, sir.
That'll work.
Would they need my email address?
Yes, I think we have yours, ASB.
Yes, Your Honor. I did not get this Zoom's meeting set up. I had gotten it or received it from Miss Roberts. I wasn't on that initial list, I don't think.
Let's see. I'm looking. Well, this is the one about the Zoom to the jail, so you wouldn't have gotten that one anyway. I don't think.
But I just wanted to let you be aware that if I could be included on that as well on the Zoom meetings.
Yes, we want you to be. And otherwise, we're going to have live hearings if we can't hook up with people on Zoom. Would y'all rather come in person? Or would you rather be on Zoom?
The Zoom is perfect for us.
Well, we don't want to spoil everybody by making it too easy to come to court.
And we would require a babysitter if we had to come to court.
That's what CASA's for. Right, Miss Duadu?
That's what who's for?
The CASA. You see, there are like 6 CASA volunteers.
No, Your Honor.
I'll need their number.
You're going to get me in trouble.
Well, the Zoom works perfect for us.
Well, I hadn't heard anybody. I offered if anybody wanted to change and nobody spoke up. So I assume it works for other people as well. All right. I've signed an order for the DNA testing that the defects lawyer was kind enough to prepare, and that will be circulated. So be on the lookout for Ms. Roberts. If you'll be communicating with, I don't know who to tell you to talk to at the jail. Well, I don't have anybody in here from the jail net right now that could tell us, but you want to start greasing the wheels so you can get the tester in the jail to get the sample.
Okay, yes, Your Honor. We will be working on that. I do have something else to add, Your Honor. and just for the gal to also be aware that we have found the mother's home to also be a unsafe environment for the majority of the children. So we do want to make it known that part of her case plan is to thoroughly clean the household, declutter it. There needs to be some major repairs to the home as well.
Okay. Well, she's going to have some time to do that. But no, I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't meaning to limit the case plan to the parenting issue that she was already starting to address, and the drug issue. Whatever else in your those you consult, and I expect Ms. Schrock to get with you about what needs to be in the case plan that includes what your investigation found that needs remedying. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And I would imagine some of those same issues, if they were sharing, cohabiting at the time, fall on him too. Of course, he's not available to come do the repairs right now, so he can just plan them out. He can be your advisor, Ms. Ivy, about how to go about making those repairs.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else we need to address? If you would, when you get that prepared, work with Ms. Roberts, Ms. Schrock, and then circulate it so that everybody can have looked at it. And I'm going to give you a date to come back and see me in about a month, where everybody will have that document and of course, send it to the temporary custodians. Neither one of you, so in case this question comes up, I told you I want you to have contact with your child, but that contact has to be supervised, okay? You don't get to just, Dad, when you get out of jail, you don't get to swing by and pick up your child and take him to Six Flags, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Your
sir. I
contact
understand.
is supervised by your parents, or if your parents are busy and going off for a weekend alone, they can designate somebody who is responsible, who can be the supervisor of your contact with your child in their temporary absence.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So don't get in any fusses and arguments. You know, they will be in trouble with me if they violate that rule. So, Ms. Schrock, if you prepare a short order based on what we've talked about, the stipulation and what I've told the parents and the parties to control, to govern their behavior while we come back and do the case plan.
Yes, sir.
June 25th at 3 o'clock on Zoom. Any objections?
Yes, that's Skylar's pediatrician's visit at 3:30.
We'll get through a lot quicker then, won't we?
If we could do it the day before, the day after.
Well, she picks the times not to mess with your schedules, but she picks times that I'm not going to be in court with somebody else.
Uh-oh.
So pick another day, Robin, and see what we can do. We've got 7 a.m. that day. You want to do it that morning?
Yes.
At 7? Would that be okay? Is that too late?
Or say 7 a.m.?
Yes.
That's good for us if it's good for everyone else.
Everybody's jumping up and down and smiling. Oh, I couldn't see. I didn't have my glasses up. No, they're not. So she says Monday at 11, which is the 24th of June.
11, that's good for me
Not
too.
quite 30 days away. Will that give y'all enough time, Ms. Schrock, Ms. Roberts?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Parents, y'all got any known or mom? I don't think Dad's got any conflicts. Have you had a court date yet? Is your case gone to the grand jury yet?
No, sir. My next court date is June 21st, which is a preliminary on 2 of the charges.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting for the arraignment on the remaining charges.
So you've been indicted on the aggravated, or you may be.
Yeah, the fleeing and eluding and the aggravated assault on a peace officer, I've been indicted. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're going to arraignment. So that's moving a little bit. So you got busted for that, then you got 2 more charges after that?
Yes, sir.
Burglary and
Yes, sir. They are related.
Oh, they are related. They just got charged separately.
Yes, sir.
All right, June 24th at 11 on Zoom. Anything we failed to cover, now's the time to tell me.
Your Honor, the court did take into evidence the report that was submitted by Ms. Fincher, correct?
Well, I think we may have addressed it somewhat last time, but I don't think we ever ruled. Any objection to the court receiving that in evidence for adjudicatory
No
purposes?
objection. No objection.
Mr. Bivens and Ms. Ivy, y'all object to that report coming into evidence?
No, no, sir.
All right, it's in.
No, sir.
And you approved that placement with the Cunninghams, didn't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all for your time. We'll mail you a copy. Ms. Straka's going to prepare that order and circulate it to the lawyers. And then I will look at it and make changes I need to make, if I need to make any. And then you'll get a copy of it probably sometime next week. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Well, everybody take care. Remember what you need to do. All right, y'all.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We'll conclude the hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all.
Thank you.